Hi there, Vibe Gardeners. Welcome to another episode of Vibe Gardening Inform Edition, where we're going to go into the results of the vermiculite-only germination experiment with eggplants. That said, let's go. All right, guys. So to recap what's happened here in that the last episode with the germination process, we went over the information about what heat mats are and how to use them and when to use them. And at the end of it, I kind of started to experiment on vermiculite and vermiculite-only germination technique with heat mats. And we got results now, right? So we got, so after about 8 days or so, I was able to get germination going on my, was it 8 or 7? Yeah, 8 days, I was able to get germinated my in soil only eggplant. So obviously it's the clear winner here. It took 2 days later, on day 10, for the vermiculite only approach to really come up with the sprouts. And so what that showed was that even though it was a 2 day delay in comparison to the soil only technique, it is still right on time for the days to emerge that the packet has given us. So it still is very successful. It's just not super successful like the soil only using the Miracle Grow seed starting soil mix. So today I'm going to show you guys the setup I have for it, and then I'll show you guys how I basically remove it from that medium and pot it into soil. So with that said, here we go. So this is an interesting setup here. So this is actually a scrap piece of laminate flooring that was left over at one point, and I also even had a pilot test hole here from another project. But back here is the humidity dome. And the reason why I did this was that the fan was coming from this direction. How about a fan that was on all the other germinations, germinating seeds over there to give it more strength, and the plants themselves to give it a better, strong stem. And the problem with the thing is that without this here to block the wind, it's actually 5 degrees cooler because with all the wind keep coming against the humidity dome with a heat mat, it actually significantly reduced the overall ambient temperature in here. So by adding this wind shield here, it actually was getting to be about 81 degrees in here, which was the ideal temperature for germination. So what I did in here was that I actually, because the in soil eggplant, as you can see here, I already removed it from this side of the germination, the watering tray. I was able to make room here, and it's made it much easier for me to put the vermiculite experiment in here. And as you can see, a little close up here, we have two eggplants coming up. I know probably plant a lot more, but the germination success rate is more of what you're expecting with seeds starting out yourself. I'm getting about 50% or so, and probably a little lower in here, but I can't even remember how many seeds I put in here. And which is a contrast from the tomato, which is getting 100% germination actually for tomato, which is absolutely wild. But that's basically for the more successful and easier germination plants. That's been my overall experience with botanic interest. So like I said, this is a little lower, but I'm also not sure if it's because I did something wrong or I underwatered it. But yeah, now with this, we can actually start planting this into soil. All right, guys. So as you can see here, this is the vermiculite-laden eggplant sprouts. And what I did was I added a little bit more water into the vermiculite to make it easier to do what I need to do. And here I prepared two pots of soil using my 4-inch pot here. I'm going to use to get the job done. So now I'm used to be dealing with sprouts using my bare hands through my hydroponic spinach operation. You guys follow my videos on that. So I feel pretty confident dealing with these sprouts with my bare hands. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with it, there are plastic tweezers you can use for that. I'll link some below for you to consider. but it should be pretty easy. So the idea here is to gently pull it out and to make sure that you just tease the roots out of the vermiculite. And a lot of people, they would do is they would use a pencil to dig a hole in here. But I mean, we're gardeners here, right? I'm just going to put my finger in here and make a little hole for the root plant. I'm going to put my hand in here, grab one of these seedlings, and like I said, easily tease it out. You see how easily I got the root out of the vermiculite? It's easy peasy, right? So we just gotta, you don't have to clean it off. It's vermiculite. You kind of just put it in here, and then you kind of just squeeze the soil around it. And that is how you get it in here. It's really just that easy. All right, so now that you guys got the sprouts in the soil, now what we do is we have a Tupperware or basically any kind of waterproof container here with some water on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our seedling in soil and we're going to put them into the water and have it bottom water. This is important because you want the water to be basically filtrated in and out. So, and then you're going to do also a top watering to make sure there's water coming from both the top and the bottom to make sure that everywhere is hydrated. And this is going to be your first watering. So you want this to be adequate to give the plant plenty of hydration. And by the end of this watering, you will notice that the pot is going to be significantly heavier because all the water is in there. And this is going to get it hydrated and ready to start the actual growth into early vegetation. All right, guys, so now that you've seen what I've done here with the end result of the germination using vermiculite-only technique, by this point you would have realized that even though germination with vermiculite will get you success, it's not as, I guess, efficient and ideal as using the traditional soil technique. Now, the result might be different for the hot pepper with my hatch peppers, but at least with eggplant, it was slower by 2 days, though it was still within the days to emerge range. It is 2 days slower than germination from soil only. And then on top of that, we only had 2 come up. I'm pretty sure I threw in more than 2 seeds in there. And so probably, I'm guessing I'm throwing about 6 or more. There's only about 1/3 germination. Now, more may still come up in the next couple of days. But at this rate, we know that there is lower germination rate as well as slower germination with eggplant seeds in vermiculite only on heat mat. So with that said, I hope you guys learned that with eggplant, you should be using only seed starting indoor potting mix to do your eggplant germination. Right, so with that said, keep gardening and keep vibing. Let's go.